is my camera still low? Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the HELLION Art Show. I am here today actually for a launch. I think this is probably like the second time. Might actually be the first time I've done a launch. So this is really cool. And we will be launching Outlaw Nights today with our wonderful guest. Hello. How are you doing? Pirate Captain.
Thank you. Absolutely. That's what I'm all about.
You're a pirate. You should have come in with a pirate cap or a pirate hat and like a fake parrot or something. It would have been great.
Damn it. I forgot.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We'll talk about this next time. We'll have like the costumes ready. So how are you doing? You want to?
What?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying I'm doing well. You know, I'm wired up. I'm jazzed up.
Awesome. So, hello, Granda. Hello, Wasi, Stefan, Alex VRB, Dungo Solo. Our usuals, our regulars are here. Thank you all for being here. Again, please, if you are watching, hit like. And I do have the link to the campaign on Fund My Comic, which I believe it's not live yet, but it will be in just a second. But I'll do a little bit of preamble, just have you introduce yourself and have everybody get to know you and the background for this comic. It's really quick, maybe 5-10 minutes, and let's just like jump into the launch, shall we?
Absolutely. Well, I am Ben, aka the Fuse Box. I am a YouTuber and comic writer from New Orleans, Louisiana. And yeah, this is my second issue of Outlaw Nights that I'm cranking out. Basically, I'm doing this the hard way, where I'm raising the funds to pay my art team. We've got most of issue 2 done, but we still need to throw on the colors and the lettering and such. So I'm gonna need a nice sum to get this thing out. So here we are.
Here we are. All right. Well, I hope that, because your project looks good and it's science fiction, and I would like to see more science fiction, especially gritty sci-fi and actiony sci-fi. I love that kind of stuff. And you were on the channel talking about it. Was it the Kickstarter? You were on Kickstarter before, but it didn't fund. But that's fine, because Fund My Comic is here to catch you, because Fund My Comic is cool people and they're our friends. So you are relaunching on Fund My Comic. So this has been a long journey. You have tried multiple times to launch this, and I think you just haven't been on the right platform. I haven't put your project in front of the right people. So hopefully, third time's a charm. And now that we have so many people watching, and hopefully in a few minutes we have more people coming in, then people will see the magic that is this series, that is Outlaw Nights, and they will be compelled to support this. Compelled.
Amen.
Starkey is in chat. Hello. Hi. Dan Genovesi is on time because every single other YouTuber is streaming. Well, Wednesday nights are just busy. I'm used to like a million people streaming at the same time as me on this day. There's nothing you can do about it. It's like I stream almost every day of the week now, by the way. It's insane. Where's the blue flashing light? What blue flashing light? What are we talking about? I'm confused. I might be confused. I don't know what you mean. Chris is Comics. Hello, what's up? Hail Rocky the Black Dragon. No one can handle Fuse Box, the cream of the crop. Nobody does it better. All right. If you try threatening, right? You should threaten people into backing your comic. That'll really help.
I've gotten close. The closest I've gotten is that I post so much on Twitter about it that I think a lot of people hate me for it now. But I'm okay with that.
You're promoting your book. I don't know what's wrong with that. That's silly. Don't listen to them. It's good to promote your book.
No, it was like 2 years ago when I was launching issue 1. I was like totally new to Twitter, and I was just like, I thought of it, I'm like, this is social media. Who cares what people post? So I was just like, under every thread I saw, I posted something about the book, and people were getting annoyed because they're like, we were talking about something. I know, they were like, we were talking about something so serious.
Well, yeah. You gotta. I get what you. I thought you meant on your own page, like on your own
Well,
profile. But yeah, it's a little. But I appreciate the hustle. Appreciate the hustle. Gotcha. All right. Let me. Let's pull. Is it already live, or are you hitting the button?
Yeah, it actually went live at 8:35.
Oh. Okay.
It's weird because like I'm used to being able to like launch it manually, but I think on Fund My Comic it launches at whatever time you set.
Interesting. All right. Yeah. So
yeah.
I've been looking at Fund My Comic. It obviously looks like a really cool platform. We've had a lot of creators recently that are using the platform on this channel, but I haven't used it myself. So there's a lot of things I'm trying to figure out. I know they don't have a sign up page and the launching is a little different. But all right, let me just pull it up then so we can actually start looking at the campaign and you can talk about it with greater ease that way. And here we are. Outlaw Knights, Genesis of a Renegade, parts 1 and 2. Tell us about this.
Yes, indeed. Well, this is a story that has been a long time in the making, because I first conceptualized this idea as a movie, like, I want to say it's been... When did the first Pirates of the Caribbean come out?
I don't know, like 2002 or something. It probably didn't, but I just feel old.
No, I am old. That's why I'm asking. Because I think, like, it was around the time I first saw that movie in the theater that I was thinking about how, like, I really enjoyed the concept of pirates. And, like, just because I was really new to it, because I was used to, like, the stereotypical pirate crap, you know, the peg legs and eye patches and R-ing and all that jazz. And
yeah,
I liked Pirates of the Caribbean because it was kind of a slightly different take on that. And I thought, like, what would be fun with, like, pirates and stuff? And I'm like, what if it was, like, pirates in the future? Like, using spaceships instead of just wooden ships and all that. And I started to dabble in and saw space pirates were a thing, but they never did it the way I liked it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, there were always elements of it where I'm like, I wouldn't do it like that. I would tweak this. I would change that. Blah, blah, blah. And so that's how I just started slowly compiling the story for Outlaw Knights. And it's gone through a few transformations, but I feel like I've got it perfect now with this comic.
This is very nice. All right. I like that. I feel like, so I don't know if I mentioned this last time, because you were on one of our small creators roundtables, and
yep.
This series, because you're doing kind of like this gritty science fiction outlaw kind of thing, your work reminds me of what Sim Pothier is doing. Do you know him? Sim from Inkslab?
Oh, yeah. He did the second half of issue 1.
Whoa! Well, there you go. There you go. Oh, there is the link, everybody. Let me pin that. Thank you, Down Go Solo. So I can pin that in. Wait, I don't see your comment. This is hard. Linking is hard. Where is it? Where is it? His camera. Okay, there we go. There we go. So many comments. Okay. Thank you guys. All right, the link is now also pinned at the top of the chat. So everybody, go click it. Go check it out. Someone asked, do I have a countdown? I actually do have a countdown, but I didn't get to use it because it just went live. You know what? Let's roll back. I'm gonna play the countdown. Well, no, it's not your fault because my comic doesn't have like a set time. You can't push a button. It has a set time. It's like weird.
I probably should have told you beforehand, though, so it's, you know.
Well, it's fine. It's your comic. I'm not like, I wanted to push the button. It's fine. But, you know, just for the hell of it, because I don't think I have actually played this countdown, let's do this. Let's do this. We have an actual launch thing. Let's go. We're totally just launching this campaign now.
Yes.
Yay!
It's not live yet.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh my god, that was totally wasn't before! Wow. Alright.
I just hit the
can
launch button
officially-
right
yeah,
then.
you just hit the launch button. Now we can actually say it's live. To the moon, yes. Was it quiet? I don't know how to make it more. I think I actually turned the volume down because I was like, this explosion sound is really, really loud. There it goes. Is it Bancroft's launch? It's just a clip that you could use from like a bunch of movie editing programs because it was, what was it, Apollo launch? So I was like, yeah, I might as well just, it was just easy. I was too lazy to make something else. Well, there you go. We totally just launched this, everybody. Wow. Outlaw Nights. Issue 1 and 2 on Fun My Comic. Oh, 2 backers already. Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
Amazing.
Right when we hit the button.
Right when we hit the button. Right. In 12 minutes. This totally didn't launch 12 minutes ago. That must be a glitch. That's beautiful art, by the way. Who was this?
Yeah.
So cool.
That is a poster that is available on a couple of the tiers, and that is a poster done by Brian Lobdell.
Okay. Brian Lobdell.
And that's of our character Code.
Mm-hmm. Does she have like a pet dino, or is that like an alien friend or something?
Funny thing about that is that like that is an alien that is just kind of totally separate from her. In issue 1, it's just kind of in the background. But my first artist, he wanted to put it on the cover, and because he thought it looked cool, and I was like, yeah, sure. And he put it right next to her. And so when I asked Brian to do a poster of her, he thought that was her pet. So I just accepted it because I was like, it looks cool. So, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Well, that looks very nice. Pretty hard and gritty and epic. Here's the cover. So is this like Electrified Dude? Is that your main character? Tell us about your characters and who the story follows.
Oh, he is actually going to be the villain here of issue 2.
Oh, okay.
Our main character is actually that guy wearing the bulletproof vest there. That's Cyrus Lawson. And he is not a pirate. He is a guy who has had a pretty rough go of it in life. He's only about like 18 to 20. And he's, I'm not going to go into his backstory too deeply because I don't want to give too much away for the future, but let's just say he's had it rough, and he's been bouncing from colony to colony, and finally he settled on a small, out-of-the-way colony called Therese, and he got a job as part of the colony guard there because he's got a heroic spirit about him, but he kind of figured he was going to be like a small-town sheriff. But right at the beginning of issue 1, that dream is ripped right from under him as the pirates of the ship called Hazard have invaded his settlement, and they're looking for a special piece of data. And without giving issue 1 away, push comes to shove, our boy is kidnapped by these pirates. So now he's got to learn how to survive in the underworld and redefine his very rigid black and white sense of right and wrong, because things aren't quite as simple as he thought.
All right. Interesting. Alex VRB said he's backer number 1, so thank you. I tried to pull up the comment, but I lost it in the chaos. But thank you for being backer number 1. And hi, Grey Wolf. What's up? Very, very cool. So who is this cover by?
That cover was done by Jay Krager.
Oh, this is Krager?
Yep.
Oh, it doesn't really look like his usual stuff. Interesting. I think it's probably just he doesn't draw a lot of sci-fi. So I don't think I've ever seen him draw so many straight lines. Most of his stuff is fantasy. I love his work, by the way. But he's an amazing artist. I've never seen him draw sci-fi, though. I couldn't tell it's Krager. It's so weird. Well, and here is this another cover?
That is a poster that is available at... Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. That's not... I don't think that's a poster. I don't remember now. Shit.
Is there a caption? No, it doesn't
I got
say.
it written somewhere. I got it listed in there.
Whatever.
But basically,
General looking art.
it was done by our interior artist for issue 2, Juanito. Juanito Arquaris from Dwarves vs. Lions.
He is
And-
everywhere. Yes, I do remember. He's awesome.
Yep. And our colors are being done by Marcos Martin. And he's going to be, the thing is, we haven't colored issue 2 yet. So, like, I got some of the line art up on the campaign, but it will be colored. I promise you.
Cool. Dangosil was just asking, was the first book color, and I suppose,
Yes.
is the next book colored as well? Okay. So this is 2 issues. Is it combined into one book this time, or are you selling just the same issues
I'm
as
doing
before?
I'm doing it separate for now. I'm taking Simon Potier's advice. I'm gonna release, like, once this big arc is done, I'm gonna release it all as a graphic novel.
Mm-hmm. All right. And
So
how many
in the
issues?
meantime, I'm thinking like 8 to 10.
Okay. That's all right. Are they standard? Each issue is 20 or 22 pages.
Each issue is 25.
25. Okay, about same range. Yeah. All right. So issue 1 is complete. It was funded 2 years ago on Indiegogo, right? So issue 2 was already funded and complete, and issue 1 is complete. Issue 2 is still being worked on.
Yes, we got all the line art done for it. We just need to get it colored and get the letters.
All right. Initial goals heavy should be 50 pages. All right. So, and you split in half because, right. Yes. Art is not cheap. That is true. But you're making it work. So it's sort of issue 1 and 2 were supposed to go together to begin with.
Yep. And it's funny, like, because of, like, all the crazy circumstances, like, we've swapped artists a couple of times. And so I'm thinking, like, each issue is probably going to be done by a different art team. Just to kind of vary it up.
This cover is nice. Like, the anatomy is really good. I love the line work.
That was done by our original artist, Render Contender, who vanished off the face of the earth.
Oh,
Nobody's heard from him.
Yeah, I remember you said that. That's worrying because the art's really good, and I don't know what happened.
Literally nobody's heard from him. Like, he just dropped off the face of the planet. I don't know.
No, I hope everything's okay. This guy, he doesn't look 18, but okay.
It's the future.
It's the future. It's the future. Yeah. No, this is really nice art. Love the backgrounds, cool composition. Got the weird dino monster there. Very cool. And are these? This is an issue 1 cover.
Yep.
So are these? What about this? Is this issue 2?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. That's issue 2, and this is. Is this a poster? This is poster art, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And that was done for issue 1, but I'm re-releasing it because I love it so much.
Fantastic. I mean, I agree. I agree with that decision. Here are some interiors.
Yeah, those are from issue 1. Frickin' love all of these.
Mm-hmm.
I
Nice
know.
colors, too. Dangosello has different characters in each issue. Right, so what is your story structure? Is it following this core team around, or like
Yes.
are you going around to different people? And
Basically, they're going after a special prize. I can't reveal it just yet because that's a spoiler. But they're going after a special prize that everybody's got their eyes on. Basically, we're in the 31st century. Humanity has been colonizing into outer space, and in many ways, history is repeating itself because the nations of Earth are all competing with each other heavily over territory and resources. They're about 10 years in the wake of World War III. I was very generous with that estimate, I know, because when I wrote this, we weren't actually on the brink of World War III.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but basically, tensions are still very high between all the nations, and so it's basically like the discovery of the New World 2.0. And so this prize they got their eyes on, all the nations want it, all the different pirate groups that have heard about it want it. So it's turning into a big old rat race.
All right. Rat races are fun. They're usually bloody, and I enjoy that.
Oh,
This is a nice
absolutely.
panel, by the way. The composition. This is all. Is it all the same artist? All these interiors?
Yeah, well, those were done by Render Contender and a colorist by the name of Press Color.
Okay. I like the colors. Colors are well done as well. But issue 2 is a different artist, right? Is this from issue 2? Or it's different?
That's still from issue 1. That was when, like, around the time when Render disappeared. That was when I had Simon come on, and Michael Beacon did the colors, and Simon did the art. We did our best to blend them together. I could have had him do the whole thing from scratch, but I loved the original art so much. Like, I was like, I don't care if it looks a little different or whatever. Like, I love it too much, you know?
Well, there's only so much you can do when an artist disappears. Like that really sucks. Sadly, that happens a
Yeah.
lot. I think, well, unless it's man, I mean, I hope he's okay. But I've heard cases where there's nothing like wrong with someone's life, an artist just drops a project, and I don't know, especially for interiors. I hate that because people are putting a lot of faith in what you're doing, and you have a writer and a team that are depending on you for their reputation and shit. And that annoys me so much. Like, damn, do the work. If the money's not enough, ask for more money. Shit, don't disappear, man. I hope he's okay though. I hope it's not like.
That's the thing. There was no bad blood at all. Like, we were totally fine. Like, we were in the middle of cranking him out, and it was just randomly he just didn't respond. I was like, what's going on? And so I messaged him again, and then I messaged him again, and he hadn't touched his social media or anything. Like,
oh no,
just
something
gone.
has to be wrong then. Oh no, yeah, that's worrying. You don't personally know anybody who knows him or anything to find out?
I knew the guy who recommended him, and he actually messaged me asking me, like, hey, have you talked to Render? Because I haven't been able to get through to him. And I was like, no, I haven't.
Oh no! Okay, no, yeah. All right, let's not talk about that then. That's scary.
I mean,
I'm glad you're able to continue the project.
The show must go on.
Yeah, the show must go on. Very unfortunate. He's a victim of the mighty Sarlacc. I don't know what that means.
You didn't watch Star Wars?
I don't. I watched them like once. Sorry,
oh
everybody.
My God.
Everybody knows I'm like culturally illiterate. What's a Sarlacc?
It's a big ol' monster in the sand in Return of the Jedi that they were gonna feed Luke and all them to Jabba the Hutt was, and then Luke quickly gets his lightsaber from R2-D2 and he fights him off, and Boba Fett flips over and gets swallowed by the Sarlacc, and
okay.
It was a big thing.
I only remember the first one. Wait, I don't remember that part. I'm sorry, guys. Cultural references go over my head. Let's move on. Anyhow, Star Wars. Irene doesn't get a reference. Everybody drink. Yeah, exactly. That's just. It's a trend at this point. Like, maybe he went full Coney 2012 guy. I don't know who that is either. Star Wars stinks. Well, old Star Wars didn't stink. I remember I liked it. I think it's one of those things where I watched it. I didn't watch it as a kid. I watched it as an adult, just because I was so tired of not understanding cultural references. And I was like, this is good, but I think it's a different experience when you watch it as a kid and it blows your mind, and it's the first time anything like that has been done. But yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah. Oh, Snarky is so sweet as usual. Being culturally illiterate is what makes me adorable, I guess. Yes, I know. Everybody's disappointed in me. I'm used to it. Grana says the colorist of a comic I did last year didn't disappear, but ghosted us for a while. Finally, it turns out he thought we were comics, and that's why he left us. Oh, okay.
I actually had a guy who left because he was nervous about Comicsgate.
That's all really stupid.
Yeah.
It's silly. Granda, you hang out with us, so it's one of those things where. But at the same time, really, who cares about this stuff? Who cares about this stuff? I've had I don't think I've had anyone leave because of Comicsgate, but there's definitely a lot of people I work with that I like to stay quiet about, because there's some crazy people out there, and it's not like as much as this whole stupid narrative that's out there about, well, Comicsgate harasses people. Well, what happened is there are people in Comicsgate who criticize cultural issues and comics being corrupted and done in a way that the old fans don't like, and that's being framed as harassment. But you know who really harasses people? It's the crazy SJWs in the mainstream who target anybody who works for Comicsgate, who has any association with Comicsgate. Even artists like Kanan White, he has to use a pseudonym because he's so terrified of these social justice warriors. So who's the real bully here? Right? Like, who is afraid of... People aren't afraid of associating with Comicsgate because, like, we'll do anything with them. Like, we're just a bunch of passionate fans, but I have yet to see any hard evidence that someone who is a known creator in CG has gone and fucked with people or asked for people to be doxxed. Like, that's all bullshit. That's all stuff, weird, peripheral stuff, and you can't stop crazy people on the internet from doing crazy shit, but that's not what my friends endorse. That's not what I endorse. I just want comics to not have weird social agendas. That's not a lot to ask for. So it's stupid.
No, exactly.
And it's sad, but you know what? Like, I think the right way to approach it is not to give into this stuff. Because I've had, it was for me, the backlash started when I did my closeout on Ethan's channel, and I had some people that I used to know freaking out about, well, you're associated with Comicsgate, and like, did you know what they've done to people? I'm like, it sounds like if you look at it in context, it's both sides were having internet argument. Everybody was an asshole in this situation. I'm like, that's very sad, but it's the internet. Like, people are assholes to each other, right? And the things that they say, well, this Comicsgate fan harassed this woman who was an editor in the mainstream. And it's like, well, what did her fans do? Like, what have they been doing? So I'm just trying to be neutral and objective. And at the end of the day, I don't like guilt by association. I think that's ridiculous. And I don't understand why. I just want to go where the support is. And I think probably the same for you and a lot of other people. And I didn't make a choice of, I just want to be CG endless. I just suddenly I'm I did a 180 and I'm here to betray the friends I used to know who aren't really even my friends, because apparently they didn't even know my politics, and they don't know I don't like this identity politics stuff. It's really weird. I just went where the support is, and it's really weird that they freaked out about it because, well, they thought that you would stay in line, you would be a nice little purse puppy, and you're going to you're going to be a good tool for them. And I think that's why they flipped out. Really, they're not used to dealing with people that won't just basically bend over and be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know I was associating with the bad people."
The funny thing is, I was always very casual. I was always a casual comic fan for a while, and I just started paying attention to CG, and I really liked their talking points. And I remember I had been reading The Walking Dead, and the first time I really encountered this crazy ideology stuff was in, like, I think, God, what was it, like issue 16 or something? It was the one where they're going to the Commonwealth and they meet Princess. And I thought she was a weird looking character for the setting because she's wearing pink and stuff. And I'm like, this is the post-apocalypse. What's going on? And she just randomly blurts out like, God, it's so great that you all aren't just a bunch of white people. And I was like, wait, but what? Like, what is this?
What the fuck? Right. So they say stuff like that, and what I think. So Michael Bancroft just did a really good video. It's called. I think the title is "An Argument for Comicsgate," and I thought it was really good because he went through an explanation of not just what Comicsgate meant to him, but why movements like this are necessary. And you know, when I first put Fiendish out, I was fine that a lot of people who supported my book were CG, but it sort of, I didn't really like, I'm not the type to be you know, I'm not very political at all. I don't tend to use hashtags. I'm not sort of the let me be part of an activist movement, and I'm not an activist, man. I just want to make good comics. But what I think really made me realize that something like, whether you want to call it Comicsgate or Iron Age or just in general, like, because this is larger than our network, it's the larger scene of what Ripa's doing and what like Razor Fist is doing. So Iron Age, all of this is necessary, and you need a label for it. First of all, Comicsgate as a label wasn't something that we chose. Like, we're going to start this movement and we're going to fuck with the mainstream. It was something that other people called fans who were criticizing the mainstream, and then the fans took it as a label for themselves. So let's be clear about that. Like, the order by which this stuff happened.
It was a derogatory joke.
It was a derogatory joke, just like Gamergate. And but the order by which Bancroft's video was really interesting because he was making essentially, I understood it as he was pointing out that most people have been, all of us in this cultural situation, in this entertainment landscape, we've been frogs in a pot being boiled slowly for like a couple of decades at this point. And most people, and the thing is, there is certain radical movements that are trying to take over our society, and they cloak themselves in really nice words like diversity and inclusion, and most people don't have a problem with diversity or inclusion, so of course they're going to go along with it. But lo and behold, before you know it, they're trying to write into law things like racial segregation.
Yep.
And things like that is what really, I think, are making regular people wake up to it. And that was a huge issue for me, the fact that there were people seriously pushing racial segregation because it's the right thing to do, because minorities need protection from whites. I'm like, I thought we were past it. This is so racist. And they're saying that that's being woke, that's being progressive. No, that's not progressive. That is regressive as hell. And I'm disgusted by this, you know? I still have a lot of old school liberal values. I'm not for that shit. And they want to say that, well, if you don't agree with us, you're on the wrong side of history. And that's just complete bullshit. And really, once you start engaging with the culture, and also the problem is this is in our entertainment. I know I'm going off on a soapbox, but listen.
I don't mind.
This stuff has been in our entertainment, and it's seeping into our entertainment, and it's very complex. It's very complex. I can go off about this for a long time because it's again, it's a slow drip of this idea that what they want everybody to view race and gender and innate characteristics as the most important thing, and merit doesn't matter. I would boil down whatever you want to call it, wokeism, this sort of weird neo-Marxism, because there's a lot of connection. It's not just Marxist. I know it's not just all commies, but there's a lot of similarities to Marxism.
I was just gonna say, I call it inverse Jim Crow.
It really is,
because they're promoting Jim Crow, but they're doing it from the opposite angle of like, well, no, instead of protecting white people from non-white people, we're protecting non-white people from white people.
That's part of it.
It's the same thing. It's just flipped.
There's part of it that's part of the effect, but I almost think the core of it is anti-meritocracy, right? And they're using protecting minorities as an excuse, and that's what affirmative action stems from as well. And look at this absolute outrage that all these supposed anti-racist and progressive had now that affirmative action was overturned in the Supreme Court. They're like, well, minorities can't possibly succeed without being given special treatment. I'm like, that is racist to me. And once that was something that I had a problem with, and it seems like normal people you don't wake up to this at first because they cloak themselves in this nice language, and before you know it, suddenly you're sitting in your office job and they're telling you that, well, we're going to have race-based meetings or race-based issues, and like in this meeting, if you have a certain skin color, you can't speak, and you're like, how do we get to this point? And my contention is, I don't want to be an activist. I wish something like what all this cultural war stuff didn't have to exist, but I think it does have to exist, because you know what? I'm actually anti-racist. I actually want equality, and I think we have to come together, and we have to have a sort of rallying point to push back against this cultural takeover that is horribly, horribly regressive, and it's not what America is about, or the entire West. So if the problems didn't pre-exist, then we wouldn't have to be here doing this stuff. I wouldn't have to be here ranting about all this weird SJWs. Well, they started fucking with our culture first, and I'm saying that our culture is worth preserving. And I want to go back to a point where people could actually be treated on the basis of merit, and content of character came first. It's really simple. It's really simple. So another point is, I found it really interesting because I had this long debate that was enlightening, and I think I probably would have done better now, but when I did the closeout on Ethan's streams like over a year ago, oh my gosh, those were Fiendish 1. But I had somebody who used to know me from the mainstream who had they were, to his credit, I'm not going to name who it is, but to his credit, he didn't come at me publicly, he didn't say anything publicly, he private messaged me and was like, well, is this true? They joined Comicsgate. And like, why? This is so heartbreaking. And I just explained to him that, I understand there's been a lot of shit throwing on both sides, but to me, I think there are a lot of cultural issues, and this is why I think a movement like this needs to exist. And also, most importantly, I'm not going to be told who to sell my comic to and how to do my business, because I spent my 20s doing what other people wanted me to do. Drawing in the style that Marvel wanted me to draw in, working for animation companies, and like absolutely suppressing my own style because I thought that's what being a responsible adult was not being myself. And I'm not going to ever go back to doing that again. I want to be free. I want to create my dream project, and I'm going to go wherever there is support. I don't give a shit if you're a fucking Eskimo or Eskimo Nazi or whatever. That's a really weird framing. I know. But my point is, even the weirdest, most extreme person, honestly, if you want to buy my comic, sure. Because you know what? The values in my comic are values that I think are good. If you read Fiendish 2, you'll see what I mean. There's a lot of values in my book that I think are and it's, of course, I'm not trying to indoctrinate anybody, but it naturally just comes through with what the characters are fighting for. They're fighting for values that I find admirable, old school liberal values. There's actually a huge subplot in Fiendish is anti-racism. I don't know if I've said this before. You'll see how that comes across in chapter 2, and that's a major part of my story. So knowing that is a huge part of my story, is why I don't give a fuck what people say. It's not just, well, I'm a minority woman. Like, I'm writing a story that exemplifies the values that I care about. And if somebody, I don't care if they think they're like a neo-Nazi, if they buy Fiendish, that means, well, they're buying a product that is an anti-racist product, or it's a product that actually has values that I think are good, and maybe that'll change their mind. So I'm not going to turn away any customers. So anyways, my point with this guy was that I'm not going to be told how to promote my book, and I don't think they really understood that. Their contention was that, let me scroll through these pages so you guys don't have to just like have something to look at while I'm on my fucking soapbox. their contention was that
That
CG
top
was
panel is appropriate.
Yeah, it is. This person's argument was, well, CG is this niche extremist movement that was limiting and had a limiting audience, but I disagree because I think what the Iron Age in general and CG is, it's the voice of the people. It's what regular people think. And just because the establishment and all this corporatized entertainment and the establishment, whether in politics or in entertainment, because it's all the same thing, isn't it? The corporate structure and our politics, they all feed into each other. They're the elite, and they have the power of the media. And this was the issue with Gamergate as well. Gamergate was about the elite in the industry using the power of the media to stomp down on fans, stomp down on the regular person. So I see these movements as the voice of the people. And just because it starts out small doesn't mean it's not right, doesn't mean it's extremist. I think the fact that we are growing proves that point, that we are normal people who just want to go back to good old school American values, or just human values. We want stories that can appeal to everybody, that aren't indoctrination. And that's what I care about. I care about good comics. I don't give a shit about your weird social engineering, man. I think if we just produce good entertainment, the world would be a better place, and that's all I'm here to do. So there you go.
Amen.
There you go. Go watch Bancroft's video, by the way. It was a really good video. Tokume, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you.
Oh, wow. The big thing I was like really attracted to with the CG thing was like I had been listening to people doing like commentary and YouTube videos about what's going on, but it's like that's all they were doing was just reacting. CG was the thing where I love how their opponents were like, well, if you think you're so great, why don't you make your own comics? It's like, well, yep, okay.
Right.
Sure.
Well, that's exactly what happened. I recall in the early days of CG, and it's so weird. Like when I tell my normie friends and my family about all the drama with indie comics and comics, they're like, "What the fuck? You're making comics?" And I'm like,
exactly.
You know what? I think the problem is that we're actually being effective, and that's why there's so many. Like, look at what happened with Eric July. Like he's just doing his own thing. He's making a comic. It's like just good old school superhero comics, and they are flipping out. They can't stand it, and it's so weird.
Because of the money.
I think it's partially the money, but I also think it's not just about the money, because I don't think anybody in the indie scene or in like crowdfunded comics is financially rivaling Marvel or DC at this point yet. But the problem is that we are actually putting out product, and we are proving that there is a fan base for things that aren't manufactured corporate dribble that have weird ideologies in it, and we're slowly chipping away at the market and proving that it can be done. And more importantly, remember this, we are showing creators that are still stuck in the mainstream that they can be independent. That's I believe that's what they're honestly scared of. It's not just about the money. We're showing people that are still stuck in DC and Marvel who are afraid that you can break free and that you will have friends if you don't conform. And that's what they're scared of. And that's why there are so many attacks. And that's why they use labels that stick so viciously. Probably not so anymore because they watered it down, but terms like bigot and racist and misogynist, but they've used it so much on so many people who aren't bigots and misogynists that I don't think that's as effective anymore. And it's sad because there are real racists and misogynists and shit out there, but congratulations, you guys have watered down those terms.
Yep.
I need more
They're
coffee.
Almost meaningless.
Seems giant mug, this is coffee. I'm actually drinking a latte today.
Yeah,
I'm changing it up.
Outlaw Nights doesn't have like a very big social message. It's more about, well, it's more like a coming of age, I think. It's more about a guy who's kind of haughty and self-righteous, who kind of learns how the real world is and how sometimes the people you think are the villains are actually not as bad as you thought, vice versa.
That's great. That's great. I mean, that's really all you need. I don't think every piece of entertainment. This art is great, by the way. This is your original artist that disappeared, right?
Yep.
I can tell. It's so good. Oh no, I'm so worried about what happened to him. Okay, anyways, that situation really sucks, man. It's that at the end of the day, I think, and I also want to be clear with my work. I think it's unavoidable that every creator puts some of their values into their work. Like if you read Tolkien, his work is influenced by his values, but it's not preachy.
Yep.
And that's the difference. And that's what I aim to do. I'm not preaching at anyone. It seems like you're not either. I'm sure with your work and everybody's work, your values will come in a way just with the framing of the situation. But there's a difference.
It came in by accident.
Exactly. It's totally by accident. It's one of those things where we're all human. And when we create, I think of storytelling as a communication between the creator and the reader in the context of a fantastical. It's like we're discussing society or the human condition. There we go. We're discussing the human condition, but framing the subject of discussion in a fantastical or otherwise non-realistic setting. It doesn't even matter if it's fantasy, sci-fi, or like real life. It doesn't matter. It's still a fantastical setting, and that distance allows us to be more objective, and also with the entertainment, it becomes engaging, and we can hold a mirror up to society and to ourselves as well, because what story really is about is the human mind in struggle, in conflict with itself. So what we're doing isn't trying to change people's minds or restructure society. Good entertainment entertains and reflects the human condition. And that's what, if it can achieve those things, that is what connects with the readers. And all the shit entertainment out right now in the mainstream, their problem is that they're doing neither of those things. They're putting out all these amazing artists that are working on, I feel so bad for them. It doesn't matter if it's movies or comics or animation and games. I think the art level looks better than ever before in history, but the bones underneath it is just pure shit. There's like no structure. The writing and the structure and the story is being done by people who don't understand human connection, that are creating this product either as just a product or as a vehicle for their activism. And it's not about human connection. It's not about reflecting the human soul. It's not about actually entertaining anymore, and they're wondering why it's failing.
Yeah. And
you're not doing that here.
It also doesn't help when you tell your audience, we don't like you.
Yeah, you don't say. That generally doesn't work. I don't get it. Like, part of me is like, yeah, these people they have, whether they're aware of it or not, I think there's a lot of people who also were tricked into supporting, this whole cultural revolution agenda, because it is a cultural revolution, really. But at the same time, like at the top, there are people who are absolutely aware of what they're doing. You have like all the activist types who are like, yeah, we're trained Marxists, and we just, we want to segregate the races. They straight up say this shit, okay? So,
yay.
But yeah, well, it's like they're cackling villains, and they're supposed to. They're telling us that, whoa, no, we're here to better society, and we're progressives, and I'm supposed to fall for it. Fuck off.
That's the lesson of Outlaw Knights. Don't, the people who look righteous on the outside, you got to dig a little deeper, and vice versa. The people who you think are the devils may be the good guys.
Great point. I like that. And I should pivot back to this. I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. I don't mean to go off on a rant.
I was enjoying it.
I'm glad. It's because I think the whole if you bring up CG, it sort of needs to be addressed. And I know it wasn't. You didn't say that you lost any artists because of Comics Debate, but someone in chat said that, and I've seen it before.
I lost a colorist because of it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's their loss.
But it wasn't like he wasn't like against. He wasn't like dying the wool against it. It was just that somebody was telling him scary things about it, and it freaked him out.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I just kind of respected his decision. I didn't want him to feel whatever, because he was talking about how he wanted to work for Marvel and DC one day, and I was just thinking, well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
If you want
Good
to
luck with
do
that.
that, if that's what you want to do.
I understand. Well, that's unfortunate though. I think most people who that I've heard who back out of CG projects, they're more afraid than anything. And again, let me
Exactly.
reiterate: who is doing the actual bullying? Then it's not us. It's the people
Exactly.
who are telling just regular artists who just want to get work, and you're terrorizing them out of a perfectly well-paying indie project that most likely will be successful because we have a great promotional network, all because of your own social agendas and because you see Nazis everywhere. Like, this is stupid. This is completely stupid, Um, it's unfortunate, but I have faith that in our current times, there's a lot of contention and it's hard to deal with this culture war stuff. But I think in not even 50 years, 10 years, 20 years, this will be looked back on as it's like what happened with Image as independent artists breaking away, and people got some shit for it, but you know, the people who were breaking away and who took all the shit, they did it because they cared about the medium. I have faith that we'll survive in the end. We'll come out on top.
Oh, I have no doubt. Like, it's happening even outside of comics. It's happening all across the spectrum. It's like mainstream movies are in decline because of all this stuff. I think books. Well, I don't know if it really affected books that much. Books were already
Oh,
kind of on the.
yeah, well, what's interesting is with especially I do know that the publishing market is absolutely infested with political activists, and especially
Oh,
YA
no
books,
doubt.
of course. But honestly, I think with literature, and I think Ali might know more about this because Ali is actually like a real book writer. But I heard it from
Oh
someone
yeah.
else who had published books before. Oh, Crystal McGee. I think she mentioned this as well. I might be wrong because I know she's done a lot of work. Like, she's also a real writer. She's ghostwritten for a bunch of books, and I
Just because
think
I
definitely for the big two as well.
just
And
because I write short visual things doesn't mean I'm not a real writer.
no, I'm not. This isn't directed towards you. This is towards me. I like to joke that I'm not. I like to joke that I'm not a real writer, even though I am writing my own comic series. But I don't know. I got to keep
I was
myself.
actually I was into screenwriting first. Like, that was my thing. I went to film school, and I honestly, like, I was turned off. Number one, I was turned off by a lot of this political stuff happening in the film world, and then also I had a few issues in real life where, like, it was getting harder and harder for me to be able to work on movies. And so I just decided to kind of step back from that for a while, and comics was kind of the perfect outlet because I had a lot of big ideas that I wanted to write that would have cost like billions of dollars to put on the screen. And I feel like this story in particular, it's like when it took form in comic, I feel like it all clicked into place. Everything that was meant to happen happened.
Right. You bring up a great point about, I think, all the backlash against the fact that a dissident movement essentially exists in comics is because we're actually producing product, and because comics is one of the easier visual mediums to produce. Like, relatively speaking, you can have a small team. You don't need a huge studio. It's not making games. It's not making animation. It's not making film. Even one fucking person, like I did when I started Fiendish One with the black and white edition, that was just me until I got a colorist on it. You can put out a story, and the fact that you can put out a story with a small team and get funding and show the mainstream establishment that it can be done. That's why they're mad, because they want to have complete control. Is there a novel CG equivalent? Not that I know of. I don't think so. Which is very interesting because I would say that with novels and prose publishing, it's probably even easier than comics. Like anybody can write a book. So with how apparently infested with activists the publishing industry is, I'm really not sure why there hasn't been a bit of a rebellion. But there was this sort of like sad puppies things. I'm not a novel person. I follow some writers. I remember George R. R. Martin mentioned it. It was I'm not well informed on the situation, but I think there was some controversy, and I think the whole sad puppy situation was kind of like a whole social justicey argument where either it was sad puppies or it was something else where there were writers who felt like, well, there was these award ceremonies were over focusing on people's race and gender instead of just the work. I know there has been some controversies, but in general there hasn't been an effective movement, and I don't know why. Maybe everybody who's in publishing and who's still in modern American publishing is just a cuck. That's the only conclusion I can come to. There you go.
Yeah, no, Allie does books, and also Critical Drinker, like Gopher was saying, and then there was another guy, for the life of me, his name completely slipped my mind. I had him on my channel like 2 years ago, and he was part of CG, but he was doing a novel series, not comics.
Huh. Yeah, we have a few novel writers as well in CG.
Yeah.
So, I know Red Gaze is the actual writer. Critical Drinker is the actual novel writer. Yeah. I think maybe more so like YA is really infested with activists, but maybe regular publishing maybe it's not that bad in regular publishing because there's no obvious widespread cultural power to be had. There's no obvious cultural power to be had in regular publishing because that's what the activists go for. They want cultural power, and I think that's why they go for YA and stuff like movies and games, because that's what the most obvious avenues for influencing culture are, and they go for YA because they want to influence young people. The creepy fucks. Jay, guess what's also do? I just did. Everybody, go check out Jay's channel. I did an awesome interview on his channel just yesterday. It was lovely, and thank you so much for having me on. Everybody, go check it out. That was fun. Julie Pascal writes novels. Yeah, there are a lot of. There's a lot of people who are writing comics now who wrote real novels. Remember sad puppies? Yeah, I am totally not well informed about that whole situation. I just remember that was kind of like a similar controversy. But reading is for nerds. Hello, what's up? Reading is for nerds, and we're all nerds here. Hi, Michael Rushback. What's up? Mike Barron does novels. He does. He's also a real writer. Granda says, and independent book publishing have Amazon KDP for some time now, so they really don't need a movement. That's true. That's true. But I also think that the fact that there isn't, because honestly, if the activists were targeting independent book publishing, then they would be they would be calling anybody who isn't conforming to current social trends as even on Amazon KDP as, well, you guys are all bigots, when there just really isn't that much cultural ground to be taken by taking over publishing.
Comics are just problematic, nothing but muscly men and hot women like the ones on the screen. Like, that's just disgusting.
I think that if the MCU and comics being successfully adapted into movies didn't happen, we probably wouldn't be here. I don't think the activists honestly would have targeted comics, because it's the fact that comics proved to be a medium that on its own wasn't widely consumed by the public, but it can lead to movies and TV shows, and because of that, they're like, ooh, that's power. We want it. We want to take over it. That's 100% what happened.
And I totally agree with the sentiment. I think it was your boy Zach who was always saying, it's like a lot of these writers in comics, they get in there just so they can get a Netflix deal.
Oh yeah,
like, that's the whole point.
I've seen that. I see that all the time. And for at least I don't pay attention to the like the small publisher scene for American comics anymore. Besides from the real indies, which is where we are. But so many people I saw like IDW and Image Series. It's like they obviously were doing a Netflix pitch, and I've
Yep.
had people ask me to draw things. And in the description, they were like, "We would like this to be something that would be easily adapted into Netflix. So don't go too crazy on the concept." And I'm like, "Why am I drawing your comic if I can't go crazy?" And
You're drawing their storyboard.
if I know, and I'm like, I understand that it's one of those things where my opinion is that if Fiendish gets one day to be, I don't think live action would work. If it gets adapted and into an animation, that would be fantastic. But also I would want to be in complete control. I'm not selling it ever. But at the same time, I'm not drawing this comic to be an anime. I'm not drawing it to be a TV show. Like I'm drawing it to have. I love comics. I'm not here to just use the medium as as like a starting point, and that pisses me off so much when people use comics like it's just a stepping stool. I mean, respect the medium. Comics is so awesome. It just because so many people have settled for, well, comics can't be that great, so let's just go with some basic bitch stories, or it's just storyboards for the Netflix deal. That's my real goal. That's so insulting to the medium, and I'm so pissed off. And this is why I go so crazy with my world building and everything for Fiendish, because I want to prove to people that comics can be more. It's not some baby medium that's for low investment readers. It can be awesome. You can create a whole language for it. And if Fiendish never gets adapted into anything else, I'm fine with it, because I'm just making it to make a good comic. I'm not Mira. I'm never going to be Mira. But I want to create something like that, where it's just impossible to adapt, because it's so comic-y. It's so manga. Manga's so hard, you can't make it anything else. I don't know how else to describe it.
So hard.
It just comics too hard that you can't adapt it. I think European comics achieves this plenty. But not in our industry, and it makes me sad. Everybody, I know I'm on a soapbox. I've had a lot of coffee tonight, so I'm going off on a lot of rants, but I want to remind everybody that we are here to promote Outlaw Nights by Fusebox. And I would like everybody to click on the link in the description or the pinned link in the comment section and check out this grungy action science fiction pirate story. Do you want to give everyone a pitch on this? And we had a few new viewers come in.
Sure, yeah. It's basically, this takes place in the 31st century. Humanity has begun colonizing into outer space, and we're seeing the discovery of the New World 2.0, Manifest Destiny 2.0, and in the midst of all this, our hero, Cyrus Lawson, is just trying to be a small-town hero in a small, out-of-the-way colony called Therese. But unfortunately, right at the beginning of issue 1, that little dream is ripped right from under him, as the pirates of the ship Hazard have invaded his settlement, looking for a special piece of data. And in the midst of the conflict, push comes to shove, our boy is kidnapped by them. And so, he's got to learn how to survive in the underworld, and he's got to overcome his very black and white sense of right and wrong, because not everything's as simple as he thinks it is. Yeah.
All right. I like this. So, I apologize for the non-stop anime references, but the whole like regular guy being kidnapped by pirates, that reminds me of Black Lagoon. I really like Black Lagoon, which is also a very underrated series. Everybody go watch it. Have you seen it? No.
I have not, but
oh, you should. It's good.
I heard that.
It's good.
I heard that they got their ideas from Outlaw Nights, so you know.
Yeah, they did. Totally. Ray Hero ripped off Outlaw Nights. Yeah, that sounds really compelling. I like how you there's obviously some mystery element to it. We don't know what the pirates are after, but it seems like it's also smart that you have a protagonist who's thrown into this world and has a lot to learn. I love stories like that. And it seems like he's a regular guy who's being thrown into a world of outlaws and is being caught up in this entire giant fuckery situation.
Yep.
And
of
I
course,
like that. I like that a lot.
All of our pirates are badass, fun characters that we're going to be fleshing out over the series. That, they've each got their own backstories. That I've been like thinking of this for a long time, and so I've just been really just trying to plot it all out. And I really, I love the characters, especially my favorite character is Ivory, who is the captain, who's that guy right there with the blue cybernetic eye. He is he has all of my wise assness and my witticisms.
All right, I endorse wise assery and witticisms. Oh my god, this art is so good. I know I keep saying it, but I'm so sad that artist disappeared.
I love it. You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah,
I got mine right here.
This is the cover for issue 1, though. So your camera's lagging a lot, by the way. So I don't.
Oh.
I don't know.
Do I look like Tom? I look like Tom Goes to the Mayor.
You're glitching, but I can hear you just fine. So just so you know, your audio's fine. That's what matters. We can hear you. The manga was suspenseful, intense book. Yes, the manga for Black Lagoon was. Are you talking about Black Lagoon? I love Black Lagoon. Go read it. All the anime was also really good as well. It's bloody. It's full of action. It's set in the modern world. It's not sci-fi like this, so obviously it's totally different. But it's just this general initial setup of it is hilarious. There's this Japanese businessman who is on the shipping vessel as to his job, and he got kidnapped by these Thai pirates. But it's like this pirate boat that's based out of this fictional city in Thailand. But it's this is this sort of hodgepodge group of people from all over the world. You have like this ex-military American who's this huge black guy. You have they're all Americans actually. I just realized Rock, who's the Japanese guy, is the only Japanese character. They're all Americans, but they're all pirates based in Thailand. And you have a huge black guy who is ex-military. You have Florida Man, who's the nerdy coder, and then you have Revy, who is the best character in the history of characters who have ever held a gun, who is this Chinese American chick from New York who's a complete thug and murderer, and she's basically a psycho, but it's awesome. Mostly because she's hot, but also because surprise, she has some depth of character, and she may or may not end up. So she ends up kidnapping Rock, but then Rock's company leaves him out to be killed because it's a Japanese company. They don't give a fuck about their employees. So he ends up joining the pirates, and shit continues from there. It's great. Please watch Black Lagoon, and please back Outlaw Nights because I love that premise, and I love pirates. Pirates are great.
Yeah, and really, it's just like I love the romanticism behind pirates, but it's like there's a lot of stories with space pirates out there, and I just don't. Like they never. I feel like they never do it right. It's like most of the stuff I see with space pirates, it's like either too like they act like old school pirates, or it's a little campy and cheesy, and it's like I want to do like no. This is like a group of people who go on heists with high tech. Like this is the future of piracy.
So I'm sure you've.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I keep talking over you. No, you continue. I was going to ask about the technology. Go on.
I was just saying, like, it's high tech, but also we got a lot of old school. Well, not old school, but we got like updated, futuristic guns. But I really like for this series, I wanted to avoid the whole like laser thing. I don't know why, because like lasers always come off as kind of silly to me. So I wanted old fashioned, we're pumping you with bullets, but they're futuristic bullets.
Futuristic bullets, interesting. Right. I have a soft spot for sci-fi. I'm a huge Ghost in the Shell fan, but what's hard about sci-fi is coming up with a new, because sci-fi by in nature almost necessitates some kind of innovation, and sci-fi is not easy to do because you can you can just do good old-fashioned science fiction, I guess. But I guess I'm impressed when science fiction frames the future in an interesting way. Comes up with some sort of technology that we don't have, or comes up with a future like fucking Dune that I love because it's a future without computers and this whole thing where humans have become the computers. And so I love stuff like that. And when somebody can come up with technology that is believable but that is new, so no one thought of that this could be how technology evolves in the future, but that is totally believable. I love that stuff. And yeah, and it sounds like you're aiming for the same thing, and I think that's great. Because science fiction isn't easy; you have to be really innovative.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, I think the biggest theme behind my world building is the idea of history repeating itself, where it's like we've got new things available, but it's like the conflicts are pretty much the same. It's like history kind of goes in a loop in a way, because it's like this is the same issues that were going on in colonial America.
Colonial America, like, is it like how? Or is it too spoilery?
No, it's just the fact that it's like literally like, you know, all the nations on Earth are in extreme competition trying to get territory and resources. It's like,
oh, okay.
And they're all trying to one up each other. And then in the meantime, like, because of the separation of the colonies from Earth is called the inland in this, and the colonies are called the outlands. And basically because of the distance between the two, there's been a boom in crime and piracy, and like you got a bunch of colonies vying for independence. You got colonies that have all kinds of weird cultural turmoil and issues. So it's like, it's a fun world that I want to explore that just kind of recontextualizes a lot of historical problems that humanity has had in a new fun environment with like badass guns and badass people. And
I like that. Well, history doesn't exactly repeat, but it rhymes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The spice must flow. Napoleon Bonaparte.
Exactly.
That's totally what Napoleon said.
Napoleon was a great writer of science fiction.
He was. He's a very wise man. He so many sayings are attributed to him. He foresaw the future. Is there one leader of all that territory?
Nope. All split up by different factions.
So Earth, or like Earth, the actual, you know, old planet.
Yeah.
That's a pretty common conceit in science fiction, where it's like, oh, Earth is the old world, and so you're framing it as Earth is the old world, and the other planets that are being conquered, they're like the colonies. Those are the new world colonies, but it's just complete chaos outside, basically.
Yep, because the big advantage they had in the discovery of the new world was the fact that there was like such a limited number. There was a limited number of space. It's like we were able to fill out the map. You can't do that with something as vast as space. Like, you know. Although I think like a lot of sci-fi tries to establish that, but I'm always like, oh, I want more of like a we're still discovering stuff kind of environment. Because at least at this point in the story, we haven't found any intelligent alien life. All the alien life we found are like animals.
Okay, how far out has expansion gone? Is it just our solar system, or is it more?
It's stretched out a bit beyond, but the colonies are still kind of spread out from each other.
Okay, so is it just humans have left Earth and have started colonizing other worlds, but obviously they're looking for Earth-like planets that humans can survive on, and it's a slightly larger than a solar system level. That's the human expansion level.
Most of the colonies they're very small because they're biodomed on kind of inhospitable planets, but there are a couple of Earth-like planets that are being renovated and worked on. And that is going to be a key component in the story going forward.
All right. I love that you've thought about this. Yes, this is the kind of discussion I like. I was just about to ask this question as to how fast are travel times between planets. Do you have any fast travel technology? How are you dealing with that?
I've pretty much been thinking of something similar to warp speed. I've been still kind of working out the kinks on that because I don't want to be too derivative of anything else. But I am thinking kind of in terms of warp speed, but it's still like, it's going to take like a couple of weeks or like even a month to get to some place.
Warp speed always confused me because it's like you're going that fast. I mean, I don't know.
It's just a way to bridge the gap of like, there's so much distance and it's like you got to get there quick.
I know, but in my over obsessive mind is like warp speed doesn't sound like it would work because if you hit even a particle of dust, it would explode your ship. So it's it realistically I'm thinking way too much about this. This isn't a critique against you. It's against warp speed.
Oh, I know.
Because I'm like, well, the more realistic approach would be either, well, you put people in hibernation and then you just travel at light speed, which would also probably be impossible, or portals or folding space, which is what Dune did. Which is essentially like folding space. So
I didn't really want to go that route.
No.
I didn't want to go the route of folding space and all that, like, because I feel like we're not quite in that kind of an era yet.
How far into the future is Outlaw Nights?
It's the 31st century, so it's 1,000 years from now. But I figure like war and turmoil has stunted a lot of our growth.
Okay, I think. Okay, that makes sense. Well, 1,000 years is a lot of time because technology is exponential. I think we probably would be able to figure something out, but it could be the technology existed, but then because of war, a bunch of stuff was destroyed, but you still have some remnants of super advanced technology that are left. I'm just speculating.
Mental notes.
I'm not telling you what to do. I love talking about this stuff.
I'm taking mental notes.
Okay, it's just a suggestion. Don't listen to me. Anyways, the dust goes around the ship because of the curvature of what? I don't. Either that's bullshit or I'm too stupid to understand it. The human body couldn't take the G-force. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff where it doesn't really make sense technically if you want to think about like warp speed. It doesn't. Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't make sense. It has to be something else. It has to either be hypersleep or portals. I think portals would be more believable.
Okay.
At least not. This isn't like telling you what to do. I'm thinking because I really want to write sci-fi as well, but that's the issue from before where I'm working. I write a bunch of stuff that I just never put out, and these are things that I find I get stuck on as well, and most people probably don't give a shit. But there's some YouTube channels. There's this one guy who's his name is Godier or something. There's another channel called Isaac Arthur. There are these science channels that talk about space. They're really good. You guys should check those channels out. And I think Godier's channel, Godier, he talks a lot about speculative science fiction, like what would future galactic level civilizations be like, what challenges might we encounter, and what's the technology, and he proposes realistic solutions. Well, as far as my layman's brain understands, realistic solutions to far futuristic civilization. It's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Sci-fi is just magic, but with machines. Basically, yeah.
Pretty much. And there was a question earlier of about the longevity of the characters, and I do have a good one for that, because most of these characters, with the exception of Cyrus, are about 10 years older than they look, because the idea is like human longevity has increased a good bit.
Do you think though? Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting that you build that in. I actually think we'll probably solve aging in like 100 or 200 years, because that's something that's already being worked on. Or I think human life could be extended a lot more, but I don't know. I'm just an idiot.
Well, no, I'm just being conservative about it, No.
I like that you built that in. That's a great thing to think about, because with technology now, there would be, it wouldn't just be, well, medicine is really good and they probably would have cured things like cancer by this point in time, by in like 1,000 years. But with technologies like being able to grow organs and regenerate cells, or even stop cells from glitching when they mutate, which is what aging is, all this stuff probably would happen in the future. Doesn't it suck that we live now before all these problems are solved, and we have to put up with illness and disease and
Well,
death?
one of the themes of Outlaw Nights is that for the problems that we solve, we're gonna have new problems.
Nice. I like that. Ah, that's good. That's good. They'll
and
solve
some
aging.
problems are just kind of timeless.
I like that. That's a good theme. You should tell people that up front. That's a good pitch. I like that.
Well,
That's really cool.
I mostly focus on like the character stuff on the outset because it's like this is a very character-driven story. Like, most of the sci-fi elements, I consider it just kind of the backdrop. It's the setting. It's like everything, the characters and their relationships and how they interact. That's the core of this story, especially the relationship that's developed between Ivory and Cyrus is really kind of the big tug of war in this series because they're very different types of people.
I like that. Yeah, well, that's definitely the most important thing of having your character, knowing who your characters are, and your characters will carry the story. Themes are important as well. It's just, I guess, it's that would be cool if you could build that into the pitch, but you can't tell everybody everything about the story. I enjoy that you clearly know what your story is about. It focuses
I've had
on
way
the
too much
characters.
time.
Right, you've been working on this for a long time. It's the story focuses on the characters, but what's underneath is this idea that history repeats and some problems are never solved, and that's great. That's a great premise for science fiction, a great starting point. They'll solve aging for the wealthy elites. Probably, yeah, they could, maybe the elites, they can pay for stuff like things that would stop their aging, but regular people don't have that. That makes sense. Owasi V, Stefan for 199, thank you so much. Stem cell research will stop aging within 100 years. Yeah, I 100% think so. I mean, it just seems like
You're gonna ruin my story, Owasi.
I know. Well, I mean, this is an alternate universe. This is your universe. It's not necessarily there's like an understanding with science fiction where all these movies that it's like Demolition Man and so, well, actually that came true, didn't it? With or all these movies that and old media from the 50s and 60s that predicted we'd be in flying cars by the year 2000 and shit. You understand that that's speculative, and it's almost like an alternate version of the future. Hyperwizard has an important question: how are fertility levels in their time?
Oh, we're keeping it good. I mean, we're all about popping them out,
Well done. Good old traditional family values there. Keep the babies coming.
The future's got to be fun.
Gotta have fun. So, people will never stop boinking. That is the one true fact of humanity. Death, taxes, and boinking.
Yes, there is medbeg tech, and yes, I do have spin-offs in mind. Because after this arc is complete, I was like, I want to kind of explore the universe a little bit more. I want to like maybe introduce new characters here and there, or like tell stories about some of the side characters that don't get fleshed out as much. And I also, especially like, I've been thinking, number one, I've also been thinking of a sequel arc with a special character that I've been kind of mulling around for a while. And I've got an idea for an arc about young Ivory and his coming of age and how he became the man he is in Outlaw Nights.
Well, that's great. You do have like 10 books planned, which I mean, definitely that's just the core story, and it sounds like you plan on following Ivory through a lot of growth, and you have even more
Yes.
side stories in mind if you for the future. For
Oh
like,
yeah, because I mean we got a pretty, I would say we got a decent number of cast members here, and that I think one of the big issues, especially like with the first couple of issues as I was writing them, was it was like I wanted to get into the other characters a little bit more, but I couldn't really, because you have to stay on your central storyline, and so I had trouble, just I couldn't fit them all in basically. You know.
down Busolo with I love my chat. My chat asks the best questions, so it makes my job easier. Thank you guys. Do you have one specific antagonist considering telling a story from their point of view?
Um. Yes. But that's gonna be more of a sequel kind of thing, because in this arc mainly it's like we've almost got kind of like a new villain per issue, because it's like where it's a rat race in so many ways, where it's like everybody's after this prize, so we got new players coming in who are gonna be hounding on Hazard's butt, because Hazard's got the inside scoop on that data. So you know, like in issue 2 here, we're introducing Wellington, who is a British pirate hunter, who is a cyborg,
Pirate
and
Hunter.
he's
Is that this guy?
yep.
Yes.
And as you can see, he's quite unhinged.
I see. But what a crazy design, by the way. That guy just looks completely fucking nuts. But I guess I was also wondering, do you have a unified antagonist, or is it sort of like a rogues gallery situation?
Rogues Gallery for the time being. For like the sequel idea I have one particular antagonist.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, everything planned out, don't you? That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, and this is by Jay Krager, and I couldn't even tell, but now I know this is by Krager. Here's twice. It looks so good. And here's the poster, with a lot of bootylicious boobiness. And here's
Oh
the
yeah.
chapter 2 cover. I love that poster, by the way. It's so cool. And then here's chapter 2 cover, and this is a chapter 1 cover. So, and
Yep.
again, this campaign is 2 issues. So 50 pages if you 50 pages of story between the 2 issues for Outlaw Nights 1 and 2, Genesis of a Renegade. Check it out, guys. This is what we've been talking about. If you haven't backed it yet, you definitely should. I'm gonna play the trailer, and
This is a brand new trailer.
it is wonderful. I hope I shared sound. Do you guys hear anything? Did I share sound?
I can hear it.
So quiet. Why is it so quiet?
Music's fine for me.
Oh, okay. Now I hear it. Sorry, my sound settings were weird. All right, I'm gonna full screen this. I'm gonna run off real quick, but here is the trailer, everybody. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, pot art. Yes. Just some good looking art. And that thumbnail, that's by Sim, right? Simpothia?
Yep.
That's great face.
And that's actually from issue 1.
Oh, Sim's improved so much. Is there a link for the trailer?
Yeah, I actually have it on my YouTube.
Copy video
I have
URL.
a YouTube channel. But I haven't been doing much with... I've mostly been uploading gameplay stuff on my channel lately. I was doing, like, you know, live streams and stuff, and I kind of got burnt out.
Oh yeah, it's draining. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it for comics. Here you go. There's a link for the trailer. Everyone go check it out and follow and give this channel a follow as well. I'll post in my network with a link to the campaign. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, that'll really help. Everybody go share out this campaign right now. If you love sci-fi, pirates, and action, and all other kinds of sexiness like that, back this campaign.
Yes.
This is the 3rd time that you're launching it. This has been a journey, but you haven't given up, and I'm really, really impressed by that. And I want this to succeed because I think sci-fi is probably a little niche right now, but at the same time, to me, it's a subgenre of fantasy, really. And what matters is it's what matters is you can, just because it's sci-fi doesn't mean you have to be constrained to a certain type of storytelling. Doesn't mean it's, I don't know, Star Wars or a Star Trek ripoff or something. I think we need more good sci-fi now. This is a really good time to come up to have new science fiction, and I would like to see more of it. So I'm hoping for the best. I hope this finally funds this time after all your struggles.
I mean, you know, I'm gonna, even if the worst should happen, I'm gonna rethink my strategy, and I'm gonna, you know, it's gonna happen one way or another. They're not getting rid of me. It's not happening.
Nice. They're not getting rid of. That's the spirit. Hey, Sim's in the chat. What's up, Sim? Yo. Sim is one of the artists on this campaign, so check it out. Wonderful Simpo
yes,
here.
Indeed.
Friend of the channel. He's the artist over here. Sim has improved so much too, by the way. I mean, I remember even since 2 years ago, his art has just continuously leveled up. Everybody go check out Sim's work as well. Tales from the Natverse. Go support his work. Hail Sim.
Man.
Yeah. That's the spirit, exactly. That's the spirit. The colors look solid and polished, the character design and paneling is also well paced, and loving this project.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. And I don't know why I'm saying thank you. I didn't work on it, but as in I agree. Thank you, I agree.
Well, you were the spirit behind it.
Not really. The spirit behind it was you. This project happened because of you and your perseverance. And
I mean, we didn't meet yet at the time, but you were still a part of the development.
What? I'm confused how that goes. Were you the one spying on me from my backyard?
There was time folding going on.
There was time folding on. That makes sense. Yeah, and a future version of me travel back in time. I didn't even know.
Yep.
But yeah, the future is full of possibilities. I agree though. This art looks really good. You had a few different artists, but all of the art and especially the coloring is really well done. It's there's so much dimensionality to it. Man, unfortunately, this particular artist fell off the face of the earth. But all the other artists you brought on, and is this by Dean? Oh,
that is by Juanito.
Oh, Juanito. I'm sorry. I don't know why Dean was in chat, so I was like, oh, it was Dean. No, it was Juanito. I'm sorry, Juanito. This is by Juanito, and Juanito is the artist on one of the artists on issue 2.
Yep, and he's doing all the interior art, line art for issue 2. Bleh.
Cool. Yeah, Juanito also just keeps getting better. This looks really good, and there you have Ivory there. Fantastic. How far along is issue 2?
We got all the line art is complete. I may have a couple of last minute edits to give him, but all the line art's done for for the most, asterisk, and we just got to get the colors and the letters.
All right. Fantastic. Let's refresh again, and hopefully we got a few more backers. Oh, that spaceship shot is so cool. I like that. That's a nice
That's
environment
Hazard.
shot. Yeah. I love it. Science fiction is awesome. Refresh. Come on. Yes! You got another backer!
Woo!
Thank you, whoever backed. Thank you guys so much. You're so close to 100. So your goal is 4,000. And I feel like you're going to hit that. You just need to get on some more channels, really put yourself out there, and then you should definitely be able to make that. I'm sure that's just the basics of covering production costs, right? Because you got to pay your artists.
Yep.
But yeah. So back this project, help a friend out, get these artists paid so this book can happen. You know you want to. Come on, my friends. You can do it. I have faith in you. Yeah, it's Juanito Star. Yep. Is this exclusively on Fund My Comic?
Yes. I originally ran this on Indiegogo because I ran the first issue on Indiegogo, and I ended up getting shadow banned, and I was not pleased. So then I tried Kickstarter, but I didn't understand much about Kickstarter's audience. So we hit about halfway funding. And so I'm hoping that with Fund My Comic, I'll be able to reach folks who maybe were not keen on backing a Kickstarter project, because that argument sprung up right in the middle of my comic campaign. And I'm like, oh, God.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It was that whole situation. I don't give a shit where anybody goes for their platforms. I just say I support people going completely independent, just for their own sake, and because I think I support independence, and I think that to me that's what CG is about, complete independence. But not everybody can do it, and unfortunately, that there have been people who have been throttled on both Kickstarter and Indiegogo, or straight up canceled.
Yeah.
And it sucks. But Fund My Comic doesn't do that. So I'm really glad that you eventually came to this platform. It's a newer platform, but they have funded books, and it's run by Luke Stone. Luke's good people. I know we can trust him. So I have high hopes for people using this service.
Oh yeah, I was always planning on doing, like, if I had funded on Kickstarter, I was gonna launch a second one on Fund My Comic. So I was always planning it.
Always planning it. Yeah. Well, this is good. And I hope this is, third time's a charm, and you'll finally stop running into fuckery. Luke is solid. Yeah, Luke Stone is a good guy. Yeah, I'm considering using Fund My Comic too, but I'm just trying to figure things out, because it's different. Every crowdfunding platform is different. I really like that FMC has a widget, because I want to mirror it on my own website. But then that way it's mirrored on my site, but also because there's of course costs on Luke's end with support with hosting the website and all the functionalities with the payment processor and everything, and I'm more than happy to give a percentage to Fund My Comic for the work that they're doing for other people and for indie comics in general, because this is a service. He didn't have to do this. He took it upon himself to build this website, and him and his team to help other people. So I'm more than happy to pay a percentage and help them out, and they're so much more reasonable than Indiegogo and Kickstarter. Indiegogo takes 8% of your proceeds, and it just and then, which is fine, really. What does Kickstarter take? 10%? But the tip thing bothers me more than anything, and it's so cheap and sneaky. Tip
thing.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that.
They will automatically tack on a percentage tip at the end, and you have to if you don't catch it, they'll just automatically charge you an extra fee, and sometimes it's a huge amount. Like if you back something for $200,
Oh my god.
sometimes the tip is like $25, and they just automatically tack it on. And you can opt out, but you have to click the opt out and manually type in $0. And like that's what pissed me off more than anything, because if I'm using a platform, they're hosting my work, they're giving me the service, I'm happy to pay a percentage. But with, of course, the shadow banning and deplatforming, and with the tip things, there's so much fuckery going around. It's just business, man. It's not even about politics. I would love to support a good platform, and a lot of these platforms just make it hard to support them. So, but I hope Indiegogo, fixes their shit, because honestly, I really like Indiegogo's backend. I want to keep using them. So, for me personally, I'm thinking of trying out Fund My Comic. I'm 50 between Fund My Comic and Indiegogo. But ultimately, man, if I can do what like Eric is doing and what Bancroft is doing, that would be ideal. That would be great. I really admire their situation.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah.
IGG does not get the tip. The tip, as in the tip, or as in the tip.
The last
Overlord, hello. Okay. Nobody understood that joke. I'm not funny. Shopify, right? Well, the thing is, I already host my website on another service, on another sort of website making platform. I want to keep using it because I really like it. I use Wix for my website, and I'm trying to figure out a way to just build a crowdfunder or a pre-order platform into my existing website, because I have to pay for Shopify. I already pay for Wix like monthly, but it's just I might have to like hire a coder. But initially, right now, I think for my 2.5 campaign, I want to support Fund My Comics, so I'm just going to use this and mirror it onto my Fiendish website. They don't get either tip.
Amen.
this is devolving very quickly. Do it on my own site. The next campaign, I am 90% sure, will also be on my website. Yeah, I haven't been pushing my website for no reason, guys. FiendishComic.com, check it out.
So you're pulling a Kingdom Hearts on us. You're going 2.5, and then you're gonna do 2.8. You're gonna do 2.9 and a half.
I'm not a Kingdom Hearts fan. I have a good friend who is though. That's so funny. No. So no, 9.5, right? Well, so the main series for Fiendish is probably like 8 or 9 books, but I'm doing 0.5 chapters as bonus stories, and they're much shorter because the main books are gigantic. They're like at least 50, 60 pages, but chapter 2.5, for example, is 20, 25 pages. So my short story is a regular comic issue. So those are bonus stories that aren't part of the main plot, but I think add a lot to the character development or the world that I still want to put out there. And those chapters are drawn by other people. So I draw the main series, I hire other people to draw the side stories, and I think people really enjoy it. It's one of those things where I think if you're looking out for it, if you're a fan of Fiendish, you've been really following the series, you will know that the 0.5 campaigns are going on. I might, I still want to advertise it as much as possible, but I don't know, I might not even like run a sign up for it. It's going to be a shorter campaign is what I'm saying, right? It's not going to be a year-long campaign that the main books. It's going to be shorter. It's a smaller book, but it's somewhat a way to reward hardcore fans of the series who want to find out more about the world and who want to like be collectors for everything. Like you want to have everything that's ever come out for Fiendish. So anyways, it's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to it. That's what the 2.5 chapter is. Tokamase reading draws. We should talk some. Amen. We should talk sometime. I run my own web development service on the site through SiteGround. All right. Yeah, we should talk sometime. That would be pretty cool. Aren't you already running a sign up for it by having a sign up box on your site? More or less, but I should probably also have like a proper sign up. But I'm just really busy. There's a bunch of art that I have to finish that I haven't finished yet. So it's also, I might push back the launch a little bit just because I have a lot going on. I've been just spending a lot of time preparing for Tampa, so it's like I have to finish the cover because I'm doing the coloring. Michael Rushbrook, who was in the chat earlier, did the inks. He's already done with the inks, but I'm doing the coloring. I don't have time to do the coloring, and I have a color assist. My friend Yvonne's doing color, like we're kind of co-coloring it, but he's ran through a bunch of like real life issues, and it's just shit's happening on the back. And I want to play it safe. I'm not going to launch it until we're like almost done with the art. So, because I don't want to keep people waiting. So, right now I'm just promoting the website, and more or less I have a sign up on the website. Yeah, that works. Now we're talking about not to go on about my book or anything, but let's see if you got any.
No,
backers.
it's your channel.
It's my channel. I do what I want. No, I want to. We're here to support Outlaw Knights. This is the star of the show today. Could offer a single 2.5 cover as an add-on with Chapter 3. As in have 2.5 be a supplemental book with Chapter 3 instead of its own campaign. I'm considering it. I thought about having 2.5 be an add-on for Chapter 2, but the issue with that is I didn't build it into the campaign when I launched, so I couldn't do it. That probably would have been ideal, but I just didn't build in like a subscription. The subscription tier wasn't priced for it. Excuse me. Making it its own campaign is a good idea. I think it'll be fine as its own campaign. Yeah. I think you guys will understand as well. It's definitely it's its own book when you guys get it. Oh, I'll see Mrs. Yvonne. Yeah, Yvonne. He's had tech issues, family stuff. He's around. I still talk to him, but he's been having a difficult time. Everybody can send him well wishes. That would be great. I'm not gonna divulge his personal life, but that's my poor
Lordy.
friend Yvonne. Yeah, it's nothing horrible, but it does still suck. He has a lot of bad luck. Just so you know, nobody's in the hospital, nobody's dying. Don't worry. He's got a bunch of like tech issues and shit like that.
In there.
Yeah. It's just life happens, you know. If only you knew a British colorist who spells color wrong but does colors. I think I know somebody like that. Isn't that right, Hyper Wizard? Thank you. If everybody can send Yvonne some good vibes, that would be great. Let's refresh one more time. I think we're at an hour 49. We're approaching 2 hours. We've covered a lot about this campaign. Probably,
yep.
I'd like to talk about the stretch goals. What do you have planned going forward? Like, if this funds, what do you have in mind for further goals?
Right now, the only stretch goal I'm thinking about was I've been talking with both 6 a.m. Comics and Selena Hernandez, and I'm gonna do some chibi stickers. 6 a.m. did one for free for me, like a concept sketch of Ivory as a chibi, and I really enjoyed it. And so I'm gonna be cranking those out, hopefully as stickers. I hadn't thought much more about it, like mostly because it's like I already know I've got a tall order with 4K, but also just I guess I was just I was thinking like the series needs to get more established before I really start pushing out more merch. But I would like to possibly get a jump start on issue 3 if we can hit a certain stretch goal, because that would be freaking awesome.
All right. So as in, have a preview of issue 3.
Maybe even like, a preview, and then like if we can get to a high enough number, maybe I can do the whole damn thing.
Ooh. Well, that would be amazing. Yeah. Let's make that happen. $4,000 right now, everybody. Let's get this funded. Let's go.
Just one of you just donate $4,000. It's fine.
Yeah, you guys have like $4,000.
Don't think about it.
I mean, we have 40 people watching now. If every single person just dropped like $500, this would be more than fun, and then you would get you would get like 5-6 books at once. That's what
Exactly.
we all want. So, well, let's do it. I have faith in you.
Immediately.
Immediately get funded. 4K right now, exactly. Tempting. It is tempting. So what's the story? Oh, well, I think we covered the story, but yeah, what do you do? Apparently, Hyper Wizard Jake missed it. I know you didn't.
Well, basically,
let's do one more rundown. Yeah.
Well, basically, it's a bunch of pirates who sit at a kitchen table and eat cheesecake and discuss their feelings and talk about like how oppressed they are in society.
Oh, now you're really selling it. You should have just done that pitch. Oh, I'm gonna back it 20 times now. This is great. I love when people just sit around eating cheesecake and talk about their peepees.
Yeah, we talk about white privilege a lot.
Oh yeah, that's really important. That's prime storytelling right there. Oh look, it's 6 a.m. Yeah, so cute. And risks. There are no risks for you. It does not mean to deliver. Nice. Well, we just have to fund the campaign, and I'm sure this will deliver. Eris Ivory looking way more ripped. He just looks. I like how the further the campaign scrolls down, the more ripped he looks. It's like an interesting progression.
That's Kodiak right there.
Oh, it's not. It's not. Oh, it is. He's got the dreads. Okay. I was blind because he was wearing the vest, but this is a different character. My apologies.
No worries. And
we need more pronouns. Yeah, what are the pronouns for your comic? Does your comic have pronouns?
It goes by Zer on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It goes by he, she on Mondays. Only Mondays between 9 and 4. You say it after that,
I'm already zoning out. I'm already zoning out. Don't say that. Oh my god, I can't believe people actually think like that. This is very nice. Look at all this awesome art, and these are all like posters. Very cool.
A lot of those are gonna be just like interior art pages that are gonna kind of pad on each end of the story.
Okay.
The story is gonna be a full 25 pages. There's gonna be extra pages of art, you know.
Snark has a great suggestion. Your comics pronouns are by and me.
Why didn't I think of that?
I'm gonna use that next time. Thank you. If that ever comes up again, well done. I have the best chat. My chat has a sense of humor. Well, all right. This art looks lovely, and I'm so honored to launch this campaign and to have you as, I think, my first launch. Oh no, I did launch Allie, the second launch on my channel. I don't do a lot of launches, but I really appreciate it. I appreciate you being here, and I hope that you finally get funded. 3rd time's a charm, and thank you so much for coming on and bringing us this book. I'm excited.
Oh no, thank you. I appreciate the heck out of it.
No, thank you.
You're more than welcome to come on my channel sometime when you're not pulling your hair out being busy.
Yeah, that's it's gonna be a while, but I would love to come on your channel. That would be tons of fun, and we should definitely talk more. I enjoyed the whole sci-fi conversation. I think we can really get into that. And if you want, of course, you're always welcome to come back on if you want another boost in promotion. Sometime later in your campaign.
I'm probably gonna hit you up for that.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, before we wrap up, if I may, just show my own stuff really quick. As I have this little project going on as well that I don't know if you guys have heard about this. So I have a little comic called Fiendish. The campaign is closed right now because I'm printing and we're going to be fulfilling. The book should be in front of printer in a week because they said that it's gonna. I told them I absolutely need the books by 25th because I wanted them before Tampa. So that's like the deadline I gave them, and I'm sure they'll hit it because I gave them all the files, all the proofs. That was all done on time. So we'll be starting fulfillment before the end of the month. That is work from the printer. We're on schedule to finally do that, and I'm so excited for that to happen. The only thing that is kind of being held up are the standees, because we have some issues with like the standee printing, the acrylic standees. I'm going back and forth with my Taiwanese printer because I'm not happy with this quality yet. But everything else is like, we're done. So you guys will start getting your books really soon. But in the meantime, before that happens, you can check out the website at fiendishcomic.com, and you can also sign up right here. I have an email sign up. I should move the email sign up because you have to scroll all the way down. That's a good idea, wouldn't it be? Let me do that right after the show. But anyways, go to fiendishcomic.com. You can sign up, and then whenever there's something going on with the project, I will send out an email. You won't miss anything regarding Fiendish going forward. And I promise I won't spam you. In fact, it is very hard for me to spam you because I almost never actually use the email list functionality that I pay for. I need to send out more emails. I am terrible at this. So you will not get spam from me. When you get an email from me, it'll be important. And I'm actually planning on doing a quick email blast because what I have been doing is working on the shop. And I have added a bunch of cool new products to the shop. Let me expand this. I have like category sorting as well. I added this, and I added a bunch of new products. Wow. So I just added this print. By the way, I got so many book orders after I was on Eric July's show on Sunday, and I got so many book orders. Thank you so much to everybody who ordered a book from the shop. What I'm talking about are the chapter 1 orders, because I have chapter 1 with this is the permanent market cover. It's available on the shop, and because the chapter 2 is not available yet because I need to fulfill the campaign before I put it on my store for mass market. But you can get chapter 1 right here, and you can read a preview. I have a bunch of pages here for everybody to see. So that is already available on the store. Thank you everybody for your support, but I have put up a bunch of cool new stuff. Here's this print of some Ragna art from chapter 2, and you get them at all kinds of different sizes and frames. And I put up new merch. Like I just went crazy with this Ragna image. I realized it fits a bunch of products. So here's like a shirt, and yeah, I have the Fiendish logo on the back. I think that looks really cool. And this is just a standard model, by the way. People were like, is that your boyfriend? No, this is just a model that design is green screened onto. It's fine. I am still very much lonely and single, and I'm going to be an old cat lady, so don't worry. I have a backpack.
Oh, Lord.
Look, I have a backpack. Isn't that cool? Look at that. So pretty. Oh, don't you want it? I love it. I'm so proud of this. To go get the backpack, and I have like a hats and everything. Also, you, my lovely audience, you asked, so I delivered. I now have Hellion Arts merch. Because for some inane reason, well, just because I'm here to promote my comic. I never really mentioned that I have a publishing company, and it just publishes Fiendish, basically, and I'll probably publish some art books under it as well, but I have a company. It's called HELLION Arts. That's why the show is called the HELLION ARTSHOW. It's named after my company, and I have this cool logo. So people were surprised because nobody knew I actually had this LLC. Well, here you go. I actually have merch from it right now, and you can rep this. And if you order it now, it'll still arrive in time for Tampa. I know, because I ordered a bunch of shit for myself for Tampa. So please check it out. And you ask and I deliver, so I put a bunch of merch up, and there's also a shirt. There you go. There's a Hellion Arts t-shirt. It's just a simple logo. I think it looks really cool, though, if I may say so myself. It's just like a little devil demon thing, because I think devil demon things are fun to draw. Greeny is LLC. I do. I have an LLC. I've had it forever. I registered it. I did everything right. I copyrighted Fiendish with the Library of Congress. I formed the LLC before I even launched Fiendish 1. Like, I'm on this, guys. I'm serious as fuck about this. This is, did you know I'm really serious about this project? So, yeah. And one more thing. So please check out fiendishcomic.com. Take a look at the shop. I've got a bunch of cool stuff on there. And one more thing I want to share with everybody. Give me a second though, because I need to censor this. You know it's good when I have to censor it. Wait, hold on. I'm just gonna share my Photoshop because, okay. I'm just gonna put some black bars here and show it on Photoshop because I don't have time to save out a JPEG, and that's just way too much work. There's like half nipples showing, and I don't think YouTube will like that. So hold on, everybody. So
Well, I mean, half nipples, it's like that equals just one nipple, so that's like okay. I mean, it's not two.
I
You
don't think so. Like, the prudery, YouTube is so prudish. It's fucking ridiculous. But it's like not equally applied either because you have naked yoga and all kinds of weird shit. But I can't just draw a chick in a bikini. All right. Anyway, so there's a website. Check it out, everybody, and thank you everybody for supporting the Fiendish website. And my other announcement is I'm going to have an art book debuting at Tampa, and here is my first reveal of it. Ta-da! There you go! Remember how I've been saying I want to do a sexy demon girl or waifu art book forever? Well, here you go. This is not the main art book. This is definitely going to be a smaller book. It's going to be staple bound. It's more like a floppy. It's probably going to be like 20 to 24 pages. But because this is specifically going to be the devil and succubus drawings and like the tentacle girl drawings. This is the theme for this book. That's why it's called Bedeviled. I want to do a larger art book in the future of all the fantasy girl drawings I've done, because you guys know this is what I draw for fun when I'm not working on Fiendish. I'll draw like fantasy stuff and usually sexy fantasy girls and shit like that. And that's what I always bring to auctions. And I will definitely do an art book of it in the future, but this is specifically a convention exclusive that is just the little devil and tentacle girls and that sort of theme. And I think it's only going to be a convention thing. I'm probably only going to print 100 or 200 copies, and that's going to be it. Otherwise, the only way you can get it is maybe at an auction or something if I have any left over after Tampa. And after this, I won't be printing anything probably of all this fantasy sexy girl art until I do the main art book. That'll be on a campaign, but that's gonna not be for a while because I want to have a lot of material. So there you go. Here is the cover reveal for it, and the colors are by Hyper Wizard. We did an amazing job. Thank you so much. Make one for each theme and combine them in collections. Maybe if I have enough, right? But I noticed that specifically the sort of like demon girl thing, I have a lot of those. So I realized I could just make a small art book of that first before the main art book, the main like fantasy girl art book in the future, right? So these colors are by Hyper Wizard. Thank you so much, Jake. You did an awesome job. Everybody go follow Jake. He is one of my fellow panelists on the Creative Block show that we will be running tomorrow as well. I think tomorrow is going to be on Phil's channel. So I do the Creative Block with Phil, Narwhal, and Jake, and it's a rotating show every Thursday. So watch out for that coming tomorrow. And again, Jake colored the cover, but actually he also did a back cover and 2 interiors. So the art book is black and white, but the covers and the interiors are going to have like full color sexy girls. So, and all of those colors are done for Jake, and he got it done really quickly. So thank you so much. This is going to be going to print probably tomorrow or definitely by Friday because I need this to arrive in time. And if you are on the fence about coming to Tampa, stop being on the fence because you want this book and you need to show up and get this book at Tampa. OACV for one day. So that's it. I'm driving to Tampa. You weren't going to go to Tampa? Stefan, you live in Florida. Come to Tampa, hang out. I don't know why this was a matter of debate. Yeah, come to Tampa. It'll be fun. It's gonna be wild. Oh my gosh, I just know it's gonna be crazy. Like people are flying in from overseas. Jake is flying in from the UK. Bancroft's flying in from Australia. It's insane. Oh no, thank you, Jake. It's look, good colorists who are also fast are hard to come by. And I appreciate one when I can find one. Will we be doing a book of his Rini drawings? I don't know about that. I mean, it's up to him. You know, I'm not going to be bothered, but that'll be something else. That's a different kind of art book. All right. Moving on. The censorship makes it better, makes it hotter. I'm glad. Yeah. Well, I don't. YouTube is such a prude, but the cover will not be censored. It'll be all out there. So yeah. All right. That was my announcement, and I think that's all that I have to say for now. Thank you, everybody, for being here. You guys have been awesome. Remember to support Outlaw Nights. Go back the project. I still have the link pinned in the comments, and the link is also in the description. So if you're watching this on a replay, please hit like, subscribe, and also go subscribe to Fusebox and go back Outlaw Nights. Thank you, everybody, and I will see you guys Friday? Tomorrow, and then Friday. Tomorrow's Creative Block, and then Friday is my show with Allie. I'll see you guys around. And then next Wednesday as well for another promo stream and another Hellion Arts Show episode. All right. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
I want to play a fun outro. What should I play? I'm going to play the cat.
Okay.
I'm going to play the cat. Okay, let's go. Woo!